also known as Panda Bear God. You might know him better by that name.
Yes.
And you know what? Speaking of which, I'm just going to do my introduction over here because we're starting up here in the top right-hand corner of the map. The man, the myth, the legend, the Panda Bear God. So epic, he has 3 spirit animals, a panda, a bear, and a fox. Give it up for PandaBearMe.
A fox?
His last name is Isaac Fox.
Wow, okay. Wow, and in the bottom left-hand corner, he knows that panda bears can't climb, so he named himself UpATree. Only he was a koala bear.
Koala bear.
Koala bear.
Koala bears don't look very vicious, though.
Oh, but yo, don't mess with a koala bear. Same with pandas, though, I thought.
Pandas? Yeah, panda. Okay, but here's the thing. Pandas are not very smart. Let's be real.
So I hope don't offend any of our panda viewers
No,
out there.
that's why PandaBearMe has 3 different spirit animals, because it's a panda. It's like the ferocity of a panda or a bear when they're really, really aggressive.
Okay.
And then it's the cunning of a fox.
Ah, okay. This guy's got it. He knows what's up, and he actually knows basic Zerg build orders too, because he's going for a hatch gas.
That's a good sign.
So yeah. So the last time I casted it was another TVZ here. A little bit more one-sided, at least one of the more one-sided matches that we cast between Jason. So I was wondering now, with PandaBearMe and UpATree, would you probably rank PandaBearMe a little bit higher up there?
You know what? I would definitely say so, but here is the caveat that I have attached to that.
Okay.
UpATree clearly actually playing pretty well. Recently beat XKY and has been playing a lot with Juggernaut Jason and everything, and obviously getting better. You guys all saw how good Jason is playing right now.
Yeah.
But PandaBearMe, I think, is one of those players that every other player has actually really respected in the North American scene. He's definitely considered one of those top Zerg players. But lately, he has been on a bit of a downswing. He's been struggling a little bit.
Yep.
Hasn't been necessarily always playing to his fullest potential. And I think he's still getting through that. So if there is a time that I think UpATree has a really good shot at beating PandaBearMe, it's going to be now.
Yeah, here in the live setting as well. So I was talking to him earlier. He wasn't as confident, but you know what? I never take that. I just take it with a grain of salt. You just come here, you play your best, anything can happen. And he's actually a pretty damn good player. Practices a lot on the Korean server. And even does a bit of streaming. I believe they both do.
Yeah, they both are pretty avid streamers. PandaBearMe a little bit less than UpATree, but here we go. We do have first Reaper coming on in over here for UpATree. I want to also note that PandaBearMe was saying ZVT, he's feeling pretty good about it. He feels like he can actually handle his stuff over here. So I'm really hoping that he's going to be able to get off to a really good start.
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. Don't believe he lost the Ling there, but maybe just one. But, you know, it's just kind of basic stuff here in TVZ. Gonna go into it, and once again, we're here on Galactic Process. And the same kind of build, getting the Overlord speed, making sure that you're not going to get surprised by anything weird.
Yeah, how do you feel about holding off the drop harassment on this map as a Zerg player?
Or holding it off, it can be pretty difficult. I know a lot of the times if you do get enough queens, it's a bit easier because even though there is a cliff that the drop can go into the main, if you connect the creep,
Nice micro from UpATree, keeping that drone from finishing the hatchery, and the Reaper may even be able to get out alive into the main base, get a little bit more scouting information, a couple of more pot shots off. Even sees the next drone coming in, that Reaper is starting to rebuild health, but it's not going to be able to deny it.
All right, so it at least gets one of the drone kills, not bad at all. And the third base does go down for PandaBearMe. And now it's all about what build it is going to be coming out of UpATree. Yes, it looks.
Yeah, we did have a 2 racks opening, getting up the really fast stim, and pretty much the meta right now. And we will have the starport coming out. And this is just a pretty standard timing. For those who don't know, you go for stim with the 2 racks opening, you get up your starport, and stim plus the 2 medevacs both end up finishing up around the exact same time, so you just move across the map and put the pressure on immediately.
Yeah, we saw that last time, and I like the fact that PandaBearMe is going to be going for the queen opener, because if he did it with the roaches, it's a lot harder, because the roach mobility is not that great, and then you can start to abuse that clip. So going for the queen ling style, as long as you can hold it off, maybe even catch it before it starts to drop and unload, then you're able to deal with it a lot better. So I like the fact that he's not going to try with the roaches.
Yeah, and you know, it was always really fun to see about PandaBearMe, and I feel like every Zerg player handles their upgrades a little bit differently. PandaBearMe finishes up at double Evo Chambers, and likely going to be going for, melee plus Carapace. I know there's some, especially the European Zerg players, really like going for the ranged upgrade, because they say, I'm going to be making roaches, I'm going to try and make do with it, but PandaBearMe, one of those players that says, no, you know what, I'm going to try and go for the melee, oftentimes even just goes into Ling Bling Muta.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing too, because there are some times where the Zerg player will go for the melee, but their Votes of Avatar is not as strong. But once they get up to the Ultras, then you're already at 3. So you take that risk, and then it pays off in the end. But nowadays, I'll tell you, man, Terran players are not letting Zerg players get to the late game. That's not what they want to deal with for the most part. So
Yeah.
a lot of aggression in the mid game.
Exactly, and I think one of the big things is you come out with that early aggression with the double medevac drop, you try and put some pressure on, but the objective is do not lose units. You're not necessarily just trying to end the game with the 2 medevacs. Obviously, you're looking for damage you can get done, but it's about finding free damage, because you're looking for that big follow-up push when combat shields is finished up and you hit 2-2, but we don't actually see 2-2 on the way, which I am a little bit sad to see from UpATree. I really would have liked to have seen some of those upgrades getting started.
Yeah, if you were able to, I don't even know if he put down engineering bays yet, but this is already getting pushed back like so easily, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed that the medevac wasn't even that full. It came through with maybe 3 or 2 marines. A lot of medevac, so it wasn't as strong as you would think it would be. And PandaBearMe, he was ready, and we're seeing a whole different game from the last TVZ that we watched simply because of that being held off. PandaBearMe, look at that. Instead of having a 10-worker deficit, he has a 10-worker, whatever the opposite of deficit is.
Yeah. Definitely has a really big lead right now. And you have to remember that PandaBearMe is actually doing all this with Zerglings. He doesn't have any Banelings. He doesn't have a Spire done or anything, but he is holding off the drop aggression with purely Zerglings. He doesn't even have like this absurd number of Queens that are picking away at the medevacs. It's actually just being shut down, and I think UpATree has got to make something happen with this. This is probably one of the few moments he's going to get before PandaBearMe just starts spiraling out of control. PandaBearMe does have some roaches on the way. Galileo Reconstitution coming up. Queen's getting sniped off over here.
Nice.
UpATree doing not too bad of a job right now.
All right, he takes out 2 of the queens, and look, yeah, PandaBearMe did go for the roaches, right? So he is going to do the style where he goes for Roach Ravager in the mid game, but he's working on his melee and his carapace upgrades so that once he gets to Hive, it just hits even harder. So this is actually a big deal because UpATree's going for Widow Mines instead, as opposed to tanks.
I mean, honestly, this is starting to look more and more like it's going to just be a 2-base all-in from UpATree, so he has to get the damage done. And PandaBearMe cleans up. There's no 3rd expansion that's already mining for UpATree right now. PandaBearMe is up to his 4th expansion, and he's holding, and he's getting Infestation Pit, and he's going up to 2-2 upgrades.
It's a lot of ands, right? He is feeling pretty good about life right now. But look, UpATree did end up going for the 3rd. I did miss that. So luckily for him, if he doesn't kill PandaBearMe right now, it's not like his chances are just done. He's going to be able to try to go into the late game, but PandaBearMe's macro is on point. He's just setting up so well for the late game.
Once that Infestation Pit pops, you're going to start to see some of those medevacs start to come under fire with the fungal growths. You're going to have the Ravagers trying to lock things down, and Ravager shots not quite able to connect, but again, once the fungal growths are there, the medevacs can't run away anymore, and suddenly that sustainability of the push that UpATree has been relying on is not going to be there.
Oh man, you mentioned that he didn't go for the 1-1. He already has an armory out, and I don't know if he thought that he had it already with the 1-1. But a little bit of a wasted resources there, and he just starts 1-1 now, while PandaBearMe is about to be finishing 2-2.
There's going to be an awkward period of time where the Zerg player is 2 upgrades per weapons and armor ahead of his Terran opponent. That's just something that is not supposed to happen.
No, not in this matchup. Usually it's the Terran player that's going to be leading. So this is a very rough spot for UpATree, who is down in supply, hasn't done any substantial economic damage, if any at all. And
Hive is on the way.
Exactly.
And of course, everyone knows that Hive on the way means Ultralists are going to be on the way, especially with the upgrades that PandaBearMe has been going for. I would say that somehow UpATree has maybe a minute and a half left before he really has to start worrying about the Ultralists coming out with Chitinous Plating, because there's that window where Chitinous Plating is not quite done, but when you have a Zerg player that has Chitinous Plating and is up on upgrades versus the Terran player, it feels almost impossible. Unless you completely outplay your opponent with positional drop harassment, you just cannot take a direct engagement.
Indeed, and maybe that's one of the things that UpATree will look into, especially because PandaBearMe has decided to skip Spire completely. When it comes down to this, he wants that ground army. He's going to have some good multitasking and also good map vision. Here comes UpATree trying to get something done. Widowmine not really doing too much, but it does at least get a few kills.
Oh,
whoa, you better be watching out there.
PandaBearMe out for blood, and he does get that first fungal growth. He's going to catch 2 of the medevacs. They immediately go down. UpATree dropping in supply a bit. He's got 29 Marines, 4 Marauders, 2 Siege Tanks, and 2 Liberators. And honestly, Tempo, that feels like a whole lot less than he needs right now.
Oh, he needs so much more. I mean, we are looking at PandaBearMe probably going to be starting +3. He's going to get Adrenal Glands as well. The fact that he has so much money, too, like, after all of the upgrades, that is what he has left over. So he gets the Ultralisk Cavern, +3/+3, and Adrenal Glands, and he just has so much more to spare while taking his 5th base. I am very worried for UpATree right now. He needs to find something dig deep inside of that soul, my brother.
He's going to have to find something underneath all that bark, but of course the third expansion on this map is very much easier to defend, and that's one thing I really like about his situation is that even though, yeah, he did go for a much later third expansion, and that also means it's not actually totally mined out just yet, so he's going to be able to continue to mine in a very easily defendable position as long as he doesn't let these rocks get knocked down. Once those rocks get knocked down, well, let's just say the floodgates are open.
Exactly, and you know, dealing with adrenal gland lings with 3-3 is so much harder. It is not even funny. You look back at your base and all of your SCVs are pretty much dead before you're even able to transfer them away. So, does he have I think he might not have because of the site blockers, so he doesn't know.
Floodgates are open. The Zerglings are coming in with a counterattack, already canceling one of those command centers, or at least going to be able to deny it for a bit. The army comes back in, but PandaBearMe is getting closer and closer maxed out. His Ultralists are finishing up. Chitinous plating is on the way. 3-3 is on the way.
Yes.
And here comes the army.
Uh-oh, the Roaches and Ravagers are here to go ahead and take out the Liberators. The Spire is complete, but he doesn't even need it just yet. Nice positioning here by the Liberators.
Yeah. Oh my God, those fungal growths! Somebody call a medic. I mean, it seems like the medevacs are going down at this point, and UpATree just is down 70 supply.
Oh no, he just lost so much of his army right now, and guess what? He's supposed to be the one that's doing the harassment while it looks like PandaBearMe's going for his Ultralisks, right?
Yeah, PandaBearMe, you know what, Tempo? I think you said that UpATree said pandas can't climb trees, so maybe he's hiding in his tree. Well, you have to remember, this is no Panda Bear.
No.
This is, in fact, a Panda Bear god, and I think he just threw lightning at that tree.
Oh, and it is about to just be too much Zerg here. Even having a high ground vision to throw corrosive vials on top of those siege tanks if he does aim for them. But hey, on the right side.
Tempo, are those Ultras even getting damaged?
I don't think they give it. I think they're healing.
I think they're regenerating health faster than they're taking damage right now.
GG.
PandaBearMe takes game number 1 in a honestly pretty